Hey beauties, good afternoon to you. Why is it that sometimes when I tell myself I won't try to comment on particular issues, I end up doing it? And I think I'm doing it sometimes because I realize that it's like a cut, but the cut isn't healing. All right, let me start this way. There is a thing called muscle memory, and that is why when people rehearse, automatically without them even batting an eyelid, without thinking too hard, with repeated rehearsals, let's say for a concert, whether there are songs or it's a performance with movements, dance, or acting, they will remember the lines keenly and carefully. Don't have to say, oh, when I reach here, I need to say it so easily. It becomes a part of them because they would have rehearsed so much. Additionally, when people have been through trauma of some sort, abuse, shackles, slavery, there are remnants of it that would have passed down to the next generation and the next and the next, especially with the fact that it was not remedied in such a way where, for example, our black brother and sister or black brothers and sister have really gotten a sort of, when you're fully acquitted, exonerated from slavery, let me put it that way. So we have not really been fully, we see this, with the whole just the systemic racism that we see across the world, predominantly in white led countries, let me put it that way. And we see remnants of it, the blacks still suffering white supremacy in certain areas of the world. And we find in areas that are, maybe it's a black country, predominantly black people, but you do have some whites, people of higher color, like, fair skinned, that there is colorism. There is ostracism to those who are of the dark, especially if your complexion is very dark. They go by the shade and they also go by your financial status. And in Jamaica, we wouldn't say that we really face racism in today's day. I'm talking about more colorism, more ostracism, rejection based on your color. However, even if you're very dark, but you have the wherewithal, then your color is overlooked. So we are more classist here in Jamaica. That's one of the established hypotheses that I realize that has happened. The leader of the opposition, to be very honest with you, I hear people talk about Mark Golding's race, that he's a white man. To be honest, I didn't even have him as that. Maybe it's me. I never had him as a white man. I just said he's just a high color brown man. I even went online to look at how his parents, they seemed a little bit more, like Irish, maybe the picture that I saw, and I'm not sure if they consider Irish really whites, fully. Like maybe it's 90%. I don't know. I have not studied the whole history of the Irish and all that. And this is how I perceived his parents, to be honest. I'm not sure where they're from. I didn't read up anything. I'm just saying by looking at the picture, back in the day. And even when Mark Golding was younger, I saw a picture of him when he was younger. He looks like one of those from the mixed races. And I just never saw, I don't know. I'm looking at him and I'm saying maybe it's me. That's the first thing. So I never ever even thought of him as white. I've heard people, colleagues of mine and others consider him white. I saw the role play of the Rasta man being in shackles, the chain around his neck, him holding onto the chain himself. And, Dr. Dayton Campbell saying, but the Jamaicans are tired of it. They need to be released. Whatever it is that he said. I'm just paraphrasing. And then you see the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, coming, to release the man from the shackles around his neck. Now, I asked a colleague of mine, had he used a fair-skinned man, somebody who is high color brown like himself, or if you consider him white, I really don't even know. Would we have an issue with it? And I can understand why he would have used somebody who would have seemed, indigent, the black man, because as I said, Jamaica is predominantly a black country. We have quite a few whites and so on. And when I say black, whether you're high color brown, not so high color brown, dark skin, very, very dark skinned, it's still predominantly black. You're considered black I've often heard growing up, they say once you have an ounce of black in you, they consider you black. Black is on your passport. Black is on this, black is on that. Some, important document for you. So you're considered a black man. So I watched it and I said, okay, I can understand maybe for the older folks who would have maybe experienced a stronger remnant of slavery or what slavery had done. So maybe it brought back in the muscle memory that trauma and it just bothered them. That's one. Two, some of us have been exposed only through movies, what slavery had done to the black race. We see all of this. Sometimes, you have generational curses that can pass down, meaning because of the brokenness of the parents and what they would have experienced, that brokenness would have passed down to the children, It's like Jabez, because she had born him in pain, she named him Jabez. And, his name, almost it would be a name that's cursed. I don't even remember the name of it right now. And that is why he had to ask God to release him of that curse and to bless him and to enlarge his territory. I never saw an issue with the skit. I didn't. I really and truly did not. Similar to his counterpart on the other end of this fence, a few months ago, in recent times, it's still fairly recent times. I think it would have been in March, April, thereabout, when they had the Sitting House of Representatives, and Dr. Nigel Clark had referred to Margolin and said Massa Mark. And I got the impression, as much as he's not my favorite person, that it was really said in jest. People scolded Dr. Nigel Clark and said his comment was racist. And I said, look at, they say, the same knife will stick goat, stick sheep. The same knife will stick sheep, stick goat. I said, life is so funny how the tables have turned. Now, Mark Golin did a demonstration because he's saying that basically the Jamaican people and the masses are predominantly indigent, and I suppose that is why he used the man who he used, as a representation of the masses, to say they're tired of the shackles on their necks, which, many Jamaicans are shackled still, we're going to release. With the PNP party, we will release you. It just so happens that the leader of the PNP is a man of his color. And I don't know, I consider him a black man, a high color man. I don't know his background. I'm going to have to do some research. Maybe he's white. I know he has some white descent in him. His ancestry has white in it, but I'm thinking it has some black based on even the texture of his hair when I see it. I never had an issue with the skit. Guys, what is happening is that a lot of distractions are coming. We're getting distracted by the wrong thing. We're taking offense for things that we know we really don't need to. And I'm not playing down slavery. I am not in any way playing it down. It created a lot of damage. I think it has caused black people, because of what we had endured, or our ancestors had endured, for us to be against each other. The only race that I see that is predominantly against each other. That is a sad part for me. Not just the atrocities that they would have faced, that we were against each other. And even though the white man had did this and did that, they were able to employ black men and women to rat out, to sell out their own black people, to beat their own black people, to treat them bad. That has been coming from slavery, and that is why we see today where a black man will kick, box up, thump up, so to speak, in a figurative and a real sense, their own black brother and sister, and smile and laugh with the white man because they were trained. And I talk about generational curses passing down, and that sort of spirit, as in attitude and behavior, has passed down. That's one of the sad realities I think personally, that slavery has damaged us. I never thought his thing, just like his colleague on the other end of the fence, I never thought it was racist. I never thought he would have embodied that. Remember the man wife, dark. She's dark skinned. When I say dark, in terms of her complexion, very, very dark skinned. That wouldn't really make any sense, guys. So I think we are being strayed by distractions. I think we need to focus on the meat of the matter, where Jamaicans are doing well financially, socially, and in every way. Let us focus on that, guys, please. Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this message.